Okay, so now is my absolute favorite time of the season. This is when I get giddy. I've been planning my garden all along throughout the winter, and I've got everything planned out, and now is when this is third week of January, and this is when I start planting my seeds, getting them started in my greenhouse. We've had this greenhouse, I think we built it 3 seasons ago, and I love it. I get to start all my seeds. I can grow things here throughout the winter if I want to, but I want to show you what I'm doing with the seed mix. I make my own. You're supposed to use a sterile seed mix, not potting soil, to start your seeds. And what I tend to use is peat moss. It comes in these big bricks like this. And it's really, really super dry. I try to get some of it started and get it out in here, and you've got to let it soak. You've got to get some of it in here and get water on it, because it will swell up to a lot more than what it looks like it is once the water is able to get into it. But I can tell you, it is super, super dry, and it takes a while for the water to penetrate it. Let me get a little bit in there, and then I just take my hose and give it a fair amount of water. Like I say, it's going to soak up a lot of water, and it's going to take it a while. But I'll do this and I'll layer it in. And then what I also add is, once it's got the water soaked up into it and it's not so dry, I add compost, and then I add perlite and vermiculite. And I just kind of make my own mix, and then once it's ready in a nice moist, not wet, but moist mix, then I start getting ready to plant my seeds. Now that one over there, it's probably going to be a couple of days before it's ready to go. Once I've got my seed mix moist enough and ready to go, that's when the fun starts, for me anyway. I start filling my trays. Now, I like to have things set up and ready to go, so I'm not running around in the middle of everything gathering supplies. So I've got the trays that I'm going to set my seed packets into, and I've got holes in the bottom of them. There's drainage holes in the bottom of these trays, but I put a little layer of foil across the bottom to slow the water down getting out. I don't like to overwater, but I daggum sure don't want them to get dry. But then I fill up my trays with soil, and I kind of lightly tap it in there. I don't ever press them. I don't want it to get packed, because it's too much for their little roots when they start. So I just kind of bounce it around, let it fall down in there, and then slide it down in my tray. And that's really all I need from that. Now, every one of your seeds, you have to check out all of them, because they all need different planting depths and all that. Right now I'm planting tomatoes, and what I do with them, let's see, I've got some Romas here. What I do with them, now they're small seeds, but certainly not the smallest. If you can see this, I like to get one seed per container. These are 6 packs, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 of them. So I like to do one seed per container, and once I get all the seeds laid out, I do it all the way across, lay every one of them out. Then what I do after that is I just press a tiny bit to make sure the seed is in place, and then I get another shovel of the soil mix, and I sprinkle it all over the top and get that on top of them. I don't like to push the seeds down into the hole. You never can tell if it's going to get too far down in there, get a little bit too buried. Some of your seeds, like chives and that kind of thing, you plant them on top of the dirt, and you have to remember that when you're filling your container. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on them right now. This is my 3rd tray. I plan to be in here all day long and try to see how many I can get planted, and then I'll show you.